Shalom, man. Middle of the week. Wisdom Wednesday. Your brother's over here at the hopeful election. Right? Let me go ahead and put this on the story. Let people know we live. We live, right? Gonna be a good one today, man. Got a video that I want us to react to and add some precepts to. Disclaimer, it's gonna be some language, man. I would rate this PG-13 for your young adults, not for my grandmother, maybe not for my parents, not for any young kids, right? But overall, the message and the content is what our young people need to hear, right? So I'm gonna get into this video, man. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory and praise to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who sent his son as an instrument of salvation for the nation of Israel. I'm your brother Azrael.
Brother Donald.
Brother Yeshaya.
And we are the hopeful elect, right? So y'all see the title, man. The title says Meek Mill claims Israelite curses, right? Meek Mill claims to be under the Israelite curses. Now, some may say that's clickbait. Some may understand what I'm trying to say, right? When we go over this video. Did he say it verbatim? No, he didn't say it verbatim, right? But he's saying it in a sense, right? So spoiler alert. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the video, and then the brothers got the precept list, and we'll just go like that, right? This is him on a podcast, man, and they talk freely, man. There's Jake. All right, Jake talked like he had a cookout, man, right? Or he had college, right? But it's overall good content, and I like the way that Meek Mill is thinking, right? And it lets me know that these artists, these actors, these people in Hollywood, they're not dumb or naive. They understand what's going on in the world, right? And they understand what's good and what's bad. All right, so let's go ahead and play it.
Everything that's right, they tell you don't do it. You heard me? Can we go over like some of the things?
Real quick. Fair use. Fair use. You can make your screen big though. Or you want to keep it like that? Yeah.
If I do that, it's not gonna show the I think I gotta keep it like this. I tried to do it last time. Let me see if this works though. Does that make it a little bigger? Or is it about the same?
About the same. It's all good though.
All right. So fair use. First precepts coming up soon.
In our communities, it's like this.
Don't leave. Like
Listen,
they say, don't leave.
You can't. Number one, you can't leave. Number two,
right.
You can't do any.
Hold up. Let me go back. All right, let's start here.
Handle a camera
and get some real money.
Production, anything.
Niggas in the hood, they be on your top for anything. You chill with your homies all day, you get a girl. Now this nigga want to be in love.
I noticed though, it's all reverse.
Right? Meek Mill says it's all reverse, right? Let's get that first precept.
This the book of Isaiah. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20, and it says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter."
Right. So Meek Mill said, man, in the hood, in the black community, in the Israelite community, everything is reversed, man. Everything. Look at this brother studying for a test. He studied from a test. He think he gonna get an A, right? Everything that's good is turned bad, right? Look at this brother got his pant, he got his shirt tucked in. This brother got his shirt tucked in, right? Everything that's good. Look at this brother. This brother don't want to pass the joint, man. He don't want to smoke weed. What the boy says, say no to drugs. You know, you get made fun of everything that's good that's in the hood. So Meek Mill is just saying, man, everything is reversed. right? And we all know that, man. We all know whether you're in the hoods or suburbs, whether you know in the projects or in the city, it don't matter where you at. If you're in a black community, man, we all know that to be cool, you got to be doing the opposite of good, right? Let's play it.
Everything that's right, they tell you don't do.
In the hood. Everything that's right.
Can we go over it? Like
he said, everything that's right, they say don't do, right? Called bitter, sweet, sweet, bitter, man. Good, bad, bad, evil, man. Right? So the thing about it is we got to start checking ourselves on why we are in the situations that we in, right? And it's very telling, man. If we keep making the bad things popular and the bad things the norm and the bad things cool, man, we'll never get out of our situation, man. So that's why Meek Mill said, hey, look, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Right?
everything that's right, they tell you don't do it. You heard me? And can we go over like some of the things they talk? I can't. I don't have
in our community, communities is like this.
Don't leave. Like
Listen,
they say, don't leave.
You can't. Number one, you can't leave. Number two, you can't do anything that's not in this. It's like 5-6 things you could do. You can sell dope. You can rap. You can play sports. That's it. You can sell dope, rap, play sports. If you do anything outside of that, we don't think that we could. We don't think that we could win. That's why it's so many.
Good enough.
It's so.
Right. Hey, can you get that next precept?
Come. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Right. I'm reading that real quick because what Meek Mill said, right? Meek Mill said just a couple seconds ago, he said, let me see if I can get to it.
Play sports. If you do anything outside of that, we don't.
Right. Earlier, Meek Mill said what? They don't want you to leave, bro. He said they
handle a camera
and get some real money.
Production, anything.
Niggas in the hood, they be on your top for anything. You chill with your homies all day, you get a girl. Now this nigga want to be in love.
I noticed though, it's all reverse. Like, everything that's right, they tell you don't do.
In the hood, everything that's right.
Can we go over it? Like everything that's right, they tell you don't do it. You heard me? And can we go over like some of the things they talk about? I can't. I don't have
in our communities is like this.
Don't leave.
Listen.
Right. He said, don't leave. So read that precept one more time.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
The Bible's calling us to leave that alone, man. The Bible don't want us to, he don't want us to be the same. The Bible is telling us to leave. But the hood, our communities, they saying don't leave. Right? Don't leave your fraternity. Don't leave your gang. Don't leave the strip club. Don't leave your toxic relationship. Right? The hood wants you to stay under the curses. Right? But if anybody got a vision, anybody got common sense, you know you gotta leave to better yourself. The only reason why you would stay is to make other people feel comfortable. Right? The unbelievers.
You can't. Number one, you can't leave. Number two, you can't do anything that's not in this. It's like 5-6 things you could do. You can sell dope. You can rap. You can play sports. That's it. You can sell dope, rap, play sports. If you do anything outside of that, we don't think that we could. We don't think that we could win. That's why it's so many.
Good enough.
It's so many other millionaire lanes that's wide open because niggas don't. Everybody thinking like, for instance, me.
The hood so judgmental to not be having them. We poverty. We like
right. So we poverty, man. Like he said, we under the curses. But let's get that next precept.
This is Matthew chapter 23 and verse number 4, and it says, "For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers."
Right. So they want you to just be in the hood. They want you to be one of 3 things, like they said, a rapper, an athlete, or a drug dealer, whatever. They want you to do those things, right? They putting all these burdens on you, and they're not even going to help you in your poverty-stricken moments, man. They're not even going to help you get out of your situation. So in the hood, man, it's just like the scribes and the Pharisees, man, on an evil note, right? The hood they gonna put burdens on you and not give you a way out, right? They're gonna make you feel bad for being successful, and then when you get burnt for being in the hood, right? They're not gonna come to your aid. They're not gonna protest for you. They're not gonna do none of that stuff. They're gonna disappear, right? They're gonna push you to kill somebody And then when you get caught, they're not even gonna visit you in jail. They're not gonna visit your mom. They ain't gonna do none of that stuff when you locked up, right? They put all these burdens on you to fit in and to be like them, right? But at the end of the day, man, they don't care about you for real. And that's why you gotta leave. That's why we gotta leave these sinners, man. That's why we gotta leave the unbelievers, because spiritually they're doing the same thing. They want you to sin, right? They want you to wallow in your sin. But when you start getting persecuted for sinning, right, and God sends his judgment on you, guess what? They're not gonna be around. They're not gonna be around when you don't got a job. They're not gonna be around when you need a job. They're not gonna be around when you need money, when you need counseling or therapy or a friend or a place to stay. They're not gonna be around, right? They just want you to sin with them so that they can feel good about themselves, right? And they can pretend to be your friend, right? Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, can I read a precept real quick?
Uh,
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse number 7. It says, "If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit a friend. And be not hasty to credit him." Verse 8. "For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble." Right? Pretty much what we're going into. You got friends who they want to take hold of all the glory that you have, and that's why they're gonna call you their friend. You know what I'm saying? That's why J. Cole made a song like Love. It was called Love Yours, but one of the bars he had was, he think being broke was better, right? And he said, think being broke was better. And I don't mean that with no disrespect to all my people out here living in debt, cashing minimal checks, turning up the TVC and brothers Rolex, and fantasize about a life with no stress, right? He said he meant that sincerely, because when you live in the light, all people want is a piece of that fame. They don't really care about you. That's why when you jump down to this in verse number 11, it says, let me start at verse 10. It says, "Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction." But verse 11, "But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servants." Right? So in the day of your affliction, those friends who are around when you got all this glory, they're going to make themselves to be like, what you call it, like smoking the atmosphere. They're here and then it's gone.
Smoking mirrors, man.
Smoking mirrors, right? But when you prospering, they're gonna be sitting up here commanding your people to do what they need to be doing. They're telling your servants to do what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Everybody got an opinion. Right. Everybody got an opinion when you on top, but when you at the bottom, everybody nowhere to be found. Ain't no help, right? But let's keep playing this real quick.
The lowest in the, like, not as people, not soul wise, you know what I mean? We go, but like we don't have nothing.
Hey, that man speaking on the curses, he said we the lowest, not soul wise. In the spirit, we the special people, right? We above all nations. And in the spirit, we're gold, like he said. But let's be honest though, we at the bottom of society. And that's the curses of the Israelites, man. That's how you know we the Israelites. Anybody watching this podcast, man, of any nation could tell he not lying, right?
Judging everything. I mean, judging everything somebody do. I've been buying a lot of Louis Vuitton for like the last 4 or 5 months. Now I make my mind, I'm gonna stop buying Louis Vuitton, and this time I'm start buying my girl cousins like $3,500. Huh? Go ahead, get a new house out in New Jersey. All right, move out.
Right, let's get that next precept. Right, he said, man, he's getting to the point now to where he don't care about the jewelry and all that. He don't care about the name brand, putting money in somebody else's pocket. He worried about, the things that matter. Like, do you have a house? Right? Do you got some land? Like, you got something to call yours? Right? That's how I'm gonna start blessing people, man. Right. So let's get this next precept.
The book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse number 6. "Ye have sown much and bring in little."
Right. So that's going back to what he said about we're in poverty, man. And the thing about it is, when you sow much and bring in little, it's a reason behind that, man. Because we're oppressed, yes, but also because we buying that name brand stuff. It just don't feel right. We don't like doppelgangers. We don't like dupes, right? It just don't feel right. And we all fall victim to it, right? I just gotta have a Yeti cup, man. I know they do the same as every other tumbler, but I just gotta have that name brand, right? Or I just gotta have these These socks, man. These socks is New Balance, man. I just gotta have them, even though they do the same as regular white tube socks, right? And that's a big problem of why the Israelite community, right, puts their money in a bag full of holes, right? Because we want that Louis Vuitton, we want that Gucci, right? Keep reading on that.
Con, ye eat but have not enough,
right?
Ye drink but ye are not filled with drink.
Right. That goes back to when he said, man, we in poverty, man. We at the bottom, man. And we worried about the wrong things. We need to be worried about having a house that's stocked with food and drinks, man. Keep going.
Ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Right.
He that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Right. Meaning we always want more, man. We always needing more. Right. Now oppression does have us that way, but also just our people in our communities, we have ourselves in that way too, which is why if they gave us reparations, we know we're going to give it right back, which is why, it says that we would have, yokes of iron on us till we were destroyed. We're at that point now where we're destroyed. Right. But going into our next precept, if you could put that next precept.
This is the book of Romans chapter 12 and verse number 2. And it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Right. So spiritually, man, we got to be able to have a change of mind. Just like Meek Mill just said, he had a change of mind. I'm not going to buy these name brands when my little nieces and nephews don't even have houses. Right. You got to have a renewing of the mind. You gotta say, man, I'm not gonna do the same things no more. I'm not gonna keep sinning no more, man. You gotta have a renewed mind. You gotta change the way you think. A lot of us, man, we too prideful to change the way we think because we think ain't nothing wrong with us. Ain't nothing wrong with the way I was raised. Ain't nothing wrong with how I think. Ain't nothing wrong with how I move. But we gotta change our mindset. We gotta sit back and look at some of the decisions that we're prone to make and say, man, is that because of my environment? Is that because of the curses? Go ahead.
And that brings me to something that we discussed earlier this week, right? The mindset, since we're talking about the mindset of our people, right, in captivity, how our mind is just gone, and they're listing things that you can't do in the hood, right? Another thing that we do in the hood, or just our people in general, is one, we don't like to take handouts. We don't like help, right? And we don't like it's either one or the other. We don't like helping others, or if somebody helps us, we don't like taking help. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situation. And it remains, and it causes us to remain at the bottom in both cases, when we don't help each other out and when we don't want to accept help from nobody and we want to do it on our own because of pride. You know what I'm saying? And so with looking at that, Meek Mill is helping out his family members because he understands he's reached a level of wealth to understand, okay, I'm set. Now it's time to bring others up with me, right? But in the right way, not with fashion and chains and watches and all that stuff, but with land and stuff like that, right? And this is what all the other nations do to get ahead. Once they make sure everybody's straight. Everybody got something to pass down. Everybody got something that they own. Our people, man, when for some reason, man, we have this mindset of I'm gonna get it out of the mud. I'm gonna get it on my own, right? I don't need nothing from my mom, nothing from my dad, nothing from my sister, nothing from my uncle, nothing from my aunt, right? And we got to get out that mindset, because nothing is wrong with having, especially your superiors, your elders help you out. They're at a place where they can afford to help you out. They already did that and done that, right? They probably have an abundance or an extra. That's their job, is to give back to the younger, right? When you get up their age, you're probably going to do the same thing for you're probably going to want to help your kids and your nieces and your aunt and your nephews, right? And so that cycle of helping should always be continuous. But for some reason, our people like to just shut off. And what's the crazy part is, it's a two-way street. So sometimes you get married, right? And then for some reason, whether it's the husband or the wife, right, somebody gets the bright idea that you shouldn't be getting help from your parents anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand you want to stand on your own 2 feet, but if your parents want to help you out with something, let them help you out with something. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're just starting off, 9 times out of 10, you're not in your forever job, right? You got kids, you're struggling, right? Why would you turn away help? It just doesn't pass a common sense test, but we're the only nation that does that shuns away help. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Hey, you know, the biggest thing too is like people, it just goes like people do this all the time. They get a new apartment or a new house, they post their hand with the keys in it, you know what I'm saying? Did it all by myself in the caption. Or they get a new car, they take a picture with their car, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things they like to emphasize in the caption that they post with the car is, did this on my own, no co-signer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a flex. And you know, and the problem with the brother saying, Salaki, before you continue, is what the brother Meek Mill saying is just like, when people see that makes them feel shameful for having somebody to have to co-sign, or that makes them feel shameful for needing help to get an apartment or a house or a car.
Feel lame.
Right. You feel like a lame. People in our community literally put you down for being able to have somebody to help you succeed in life. Like when I was in high school, one of the things that I debated one of my friends about is like, why do people get mad? Like, why do we get mad because there are children who grow up and their parents can give them everything, versus there's children who grow up and they don't really get nothing from their parents? It's almost like we're blaming people in our community for doing things the right way. It's kind of like
not the goal. Like, is that not the goal for us to do better than how we were raised for our children, right? And so when you finally do that, people look at you and shame you for it, and you wonder why people are moving out the hood. Because once you get to that level of, oh, I can do better for my kids, well, I got to get him out the hood now, because if I keep him in the hood, he's gonna be surrounded by nothing but haters and people calling him lame for what I'm trying to do. So now I got to move next to the white people, right? And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
Come on, man. Hey, read that next precept in Jeremiah 29.
Jeremiah 29:5.
Because he said he's no longer buying a Louis V, right? He's buying the properties, right? So that's what this, you know, that's fulfilling scripture. When we have our renewing of a mind, we have to go back to scripture and see what we should be thinking on and what we should be acting on, right? Based on the scriptures, because our flesh gonna have us act the opposite way. But go ahead.
Jeremiah 29:5. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them.
Right. It didn't say get the finest Babylonian garment. It didn't say, right, it didn't say party. It didn't say all that stuff. It said, man, build ye houses, man. That's how you're gonna sustain in your captivity, is having a place to call home. That way you can practice his law, statutes, and commandments, right? And rule your house and serve the house, right? Serve the Lord, or get your house to serve the Lord, right? Let's keep playing.
Area and shit like that, because we're spending a lot on clothes.
Right.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go dicky it up. We're gonna go get some merch. We're gonna
wear the merch.
Yeah, we're gonna wear some merch, wear some Dickies and then some Nike track tech shit, and we're gonna grind for like 4 months, and we're gonna get some of that money back. It's just like you can't really
see. He said it's a cycle, man. We gonna buy all that stuff when we make it, grind some more, and then just do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? It's you putting your money into a bag with holes. You're spending it before it's already spent. And I know people's parents tell them that when they kids, right? You might get your first job and you already thinking about what you're gonna spend your check on, and they say, man, you spending your money before it's already spent. Bad habits, right? And a lot of us, we didn't care, right? We just was happy we had money to do what we want. But what they was trying to tell us was, hey man, put your money to where you know you're gonna need it. Save your money, right?
And I know you gotta really understand who you are.
Right.
And in the hood, you know, they kind of like do everything to try to make you forget who you are. They do that to me. You got niggas whispering in the hood. I ain't no niggas whispering. That's how I almost like not fell off, but like dealing with, I say, like, people asking when I'm dropping. I was trying to see who with me. I wasn't even worried about no rap. When you got people that you love and shit like that criticize you in the hood, or people you came up around, niggas saying you changed. Come on, man. I done gave niggas 40, 50.
Yeah, let's get these next few precepts. I think it's 2 precepts on this.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
Right. So he was saying pretty much we keep spending money like that because we don't even know who we are. We don't even know what we should be doing with ourselves. Right. We don't know. Right. And so, you know, everybody knows what they should be doing except for our people, man. But once we find out who we are, we'll know what to do with it. Right. We'll understand we got to buy houses. We'll understand we got to keep the Sabbath and things of that nature. Right. Let's get the next precept.
This is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. It says, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
Right? Are we just made to just be in this cycle, man? Are we just made to be repetitively spending money and then grinding so we can spend more money and give it right back to massa? Right? Are we a homeborn slave, man? Keep going.
Is he why is he spoiled?
Right? Why are we spoiled? A lot of us want to know why we in the situation we're in. Yeah, we're being oppressed and we was put here, but we the ones keeping ourselves here, man. We done seen time and time again that we have the ability and the power to overcome, but we don't care because we just say, you know, they're just going to tear it apart. They're just going to bomb us. So we just lost the spirit of trial, of trying, right? And we just gave in, right? Gave into our flesh. Let's get Matthew 12 and 47.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 47. It says, then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee.
Right? Because what was their mother and brother saying, man? Christ got all this fame, right? And now their mother and their brothers is over there like, man, we don't want him to do it like this. Because, you know, your family can see the path that you on. They might be scared for you. They might want to talk you out of it, right? And so you might have that brother or that mother that come to you. Are you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to move like this? Right? And that's what Meek Mill is talking about, man. Meek Mill talking about how people saying that you changed up, people saying that you acting different. This ain't the same you. You know, I grew up with you type of thing. So let's get Matthew 13 and 55.
Matthew 13 and 55. Is not this the carpenter's son?
Ain't this Meek? We know Meek, bro. Keep going.
Is not his mother called Mary and his brethren's
James? The little dude that used to rap at lunch, bro. We know you, bro. Keep going.
James and Joseph and Simon and Judas.
All right. Is there more on that?
That's it. Now you want to go to the next verse?
Yeah, go to the next verse real quick.
And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then has this man all these things?
Right, man. His whole family's still in the hood, man. We see them every day, man. You know what I'm saying? Who he think he is? Who he think he is that he could lead a hood, man, and not be with us, right?
$1,000 more than 100 times in loads and shit like that. Shit, nobody around this motherfucker be talking about me. And if y'all is talking about me, whoever know my value and my character, speak the fuck up. Don't let nobody be around here talking about me knowing I just gave you 80 fucking thousand yesterday to better you and your family. And I ain't asked for a return. I could have let you borrow the 80,000 and you got to give me the 80K back or the 50 or the 20 or 10. It could be 4K in the hood. You know, a nigga could have gave me 2,000 in the hood back then. I still remember it right now.
Absolutely.
Right. So what he's saying is, man, and once again, sorry for the language, man. He is kind of being vulgar, but apparently you could clearly see that he's being passionate about this topic because he probably is hurt, man. You know, when you give in alms, so to speak, in secret, and the same people you giving alms to in secret don't even want to acknowledge you or don't even want to speak up for you or actually they do the opposite. They still, you know what I'm saying, hating on you after you done gave them 80,000, after you gave them 100,000, 10,000 at a drop of a hat, right? It's like, man, what more can I do? At that point, you think, man, well, at this point, and there's nothing more I can do. There's no point in trying to please these people, right? Let's get that next verse.
This is Mark chapter 6, starting at verse number 4, and it reads, But Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his own kin and in his own house.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You're not without honor, man. You could do extraordinary things, man, and people will act like it didn't happen. People will have short-term memory, will have memory loss, right? Keep going.
Verse 5. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them.
Right? And you got to understand, like, when that happens, you know, do what you can, but move on with your life, man. Don't let it bring you down. You know, you can shake your head about it. You can, you know, say, man, that's crazy or whatever, but do what you can and just get out of there, because ultimately it's not contributing anything to your life. If anything, you're a lamp and you put in a bushel over your lamp. Right? Your light's being smothered by haters. Right?
Verse 6.
Go ahead.
And he marveled because of their unbelief, and he went round about the villages teaching.
Right? Like Meek Mill said, man, in our communities, you can do good. They'll act like you didn't do it. And you like, what? Are you serious? And you don't want to, you know, get arrogant. You don't want to get prideful. You don't want to throw nothing in their face. Right? Even in our communities, in our relationships, right? When we look at Deuteronomy 28, 54, 55, 56, right? Even in our relationships, right? You know, we forget the things that our partner does for us, right? And we want to, and then when it happens, you want to throw it in their face, like, you don't remember when I did X, Y, and Z? You don't remember me doing this, and this? You know what I do, blah, 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 right? Because our people, man, we're just not passionate people, and we're not thoughtful people. It's all about me. And that's why the Most High had to give us commandments. This nation of Israel, we had to have these commandments because he had to show us how to think for other people, right? When Christ was on the scene, he said, let the greatest of you be a servant, right, to everybody else, right?
Colin, if I can, go ahead.
You said something?
You keep playing, I'll bring it out at the end.
On the block. Why the fuck would I be on the block if it's 80 niggas getting shot out here on this block? I got reform going on, helping people come home from jail. I got 2 kids. I'm making millions. I'm traveling. Why is the hood telling me I'm fake for not being in the hood? Why?
Right. I, you know what I'm saying? That's like Christ saying, you guys were looking for a Messiah. I'm showing you that I'm the Messiah. I'm doing these miracles. I'm raising the dead. I'm healing the sick. I mean, why would y'all want me to deny who I am? Why would y'all want me to be a regular man? Right? Why would y'all want me to say, yeah, I'm crazy, or yeah, I'm just a regular man, when I could literally help the nation? Right? He's saying these things, but when we look at it in the hood, or I'm gonna stop saying the hood, but just in our communities, because it don't matter if you in a wealthy area either, man. You know, money don't stop the way our people act, right? You could be in the suburbs and it's still gonna happen, right? And the thing about it is, people just want you to be where they at, man. People don't, it's a rat race. People don't want you to be higher than them. People don't want you to have authority to change their life, even though they need their life to be changed, right? People don't like that, right? It's a rat race. But what was you gonna say?
Con, I wanted to read this real quick. Isaiah chapter 51 and verse number 20. And let me scroll back down to it. Isaiah 51 and 20, and it says, thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God, right? So as a wild bull in a net, meaning it's in a trap, the same way that we liken our communities, the hood specifically, to a trap, right? Like the brother said, it's a constant cycle. It's like a hamster on a wheel. We're going through the same thing over and over. That's why we have that bag with holes, because we want to literally be approved amongst the men we live around, right? Instead of wanting to be approved by the Most High God of our fathers. And the reason I say that we want to be approved by the men we live around is like the brother Azrael was just bringing out. We do these things over and over again, and we do these things knowingly, right? but we do it with no thought for the betterment or benefit of how this could change my community around, because at the end of the day, we're selfish people. We're prideful people. And this is what's causing our communities to be destroyed. Not no dang, what they call it, not loving the enemy, but not loving ourselves. But kind of, yeah.
Man, it's just something, man, that people will want you to live in hell because they in hell, right? People want you to live in hell because they in hell, right? They want you to come back to the hood, right? For what? Just because they in the hood, just because they suffering, they want you to suffer, right? That's the nature of the beast, man. That's our people for you, right? Why would you go back to why would you go back to hell, right? People dying in the street, right? People in all different type of madness and folly. You really not your brother's keeper if you want him to go back to that.
Why would you return back to your own vomit and
right.
wallow in the mud?
Right. And people that make it to this level of success and leave the hood, man, they not dumb. They know this, man. The whole goal was to get out the hood, right? The whole goal was to get out the hood. And that's like a lot of us. The whole goal was to get out of sin, right? To get out of that old man. But unfortunately, some of us, just like some of these artists and rappers and stuff, we do return to our vomit, man, because that's just how we are wired, right? Misery loves company, man. Misery loves company.
And I actually was staying in the hood too long. I've been driving Rolls Royces through Philadelphia, one of the highest murder rates in America for the last 10 years. I'm tired of looking over my back in motherfucking Rolls Royces. You spot me from a block away, you a op. I ain't spot you. You in the Delta 88 tenant. Mm-hmm. I'm in a Phantom. You spot me, shoot my windows out. It's just you at a disadvantage. So, it's just they tell us everything that's wrong is right. Now stay here. Why? Because if I stay, I'm gonna have to kill something. Because people trying to kill around here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much I got one more precept, but that's it in a nutshell. If you don't leave the darkness, man, the darkness is gonna consume your light. You're gonna end up sinning. Right? Like you said, if I come back, man, I'm gonna end up doing something I don't want to do, right? Because a lot of us think, well, Christ sat with the publicans and the sinners. No, man, they sat with Christ, right? You need to sit back and you need to ask yourself who's sitting with you, or are you going to sit with somebody else, right?
God, like it says in that one verse,
if you stay in sin, thinking you're gonna be a light, you just finna end up getting rolled up on. You're gonna end up Satan's gonna, he gonna catch you like Meek Mill say. He could be doing fine, paying attention to something else, not even knowing somebody been stalking him for 3 hours and shoot up his car. That's how Satan is, man. Satan gonna stalk you 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. It don't matter. Then before you know it, he got you like that. Boom. Now you in sin. That's why you got to distance yourself. That's why light does not fellowship with darkness. Go ahead, though.
Man, that's why in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33, it says this. It says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character, right? And I like to add on there at the end of that, right? All the time, right? Bad company will corrupt good character all the time. If you're the only person, right, around a bunch of bad company, right? I mean, I can't really think of a situation where the one upright person influenced everybody else that was in sin or whatnot, right? Because when you get around those spirits, man, those spirits gonna rub off on you. That's what the Bible says. That's not what I say, right? And we oftentimes try to go against that scripture a lot, right? I have before, right? And I've been proven wrong. I thought I could be the one to make the change, make the difference, right? You have to separate yourself. That's what the whole Bible is telling you the whole time, is to separate yourself. you get up and leave. Because if you stay around that bad company, man, that bad company is going to do what? Corrupt good character. That's what the verse says. That's what Meek Mill is saying. If I stay around this bad company, I'm going to have to do what the bad company do, right? Not because I want to, but because that's how they operate, and that's how I'm going to have to, you know, protect my life. You know what I'm saying?
Man. When I was in the world, man, and I was going down the wrong path, and I thought I could be a light to a certain group of people. I found myself doing stuff I never thought I'd do, stuff I never repeat. I did, right? Because, you know, like I said, that's being a light. And, you know, when you're surrounded in darkness, I don't care how bright your light is. When you're surrounded in darkness, you know, that light's going to get dim. When you watch some scary movies and they go to a vision of all black scene or all black vision or something, and there's one candle, right? The further away you get from that candle, that darkness consumes the light. You can't see it no more, right? And that's how it's gonna be. And that's how our people are, man. They want that one light to be consumed with darkness until that light's put out, until you can't see that light no more, right? Let's get this precept real quick.
Matthew 7 and verse 16. Ye shall know them by their fruits.
Right, you're gonna know a man by their fruits. That's why Meek Mill was listing some of the stuff he did. He said, "Man, all these people say I'm fake. All these people say this, that, and the third about me. But when I was giving 80, when I gave you 80K, you ain't say nothing, right? And I didn't even ask for the 80K back. I could have said it was a loan. When I gave you that 10K, when I gave this person 5K, when I did this, when I did that, right? You gonna know somebody by their fruits." Right. And that's why he threw I got this prison reform, helping people when they get back from jail. Right. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Right. So he might not be perfect. We know that, but he's letting you know that he's trying. Right. And our people, we don't like triers. We don't like people that's trying to get out their sin. We don't like people that's trying to be good. Right. Everything's the opposite. We only want that dude that just killed somebody. We want to be able to say free my partner, even though he shouldn't be freed, right? We want that dude that just cheated on his girl, and he got the cool story behind it, bro. When I went here, bro, oh my God, bro, she just threw herself at me, bro. We all invested in that. We want that dude that came up on that quick money via a scam. We want him to teach us how to scam, right? But we don't want any of the good stuff. That's just how our people are. That's how we wire, man. And that's why we're at the bottom of society to this day, right? Them curses is on our people. And all these other nations, man, they see it. And they wonder why we act this way. They wonder why we are constantly injuring ourselves. I know plenty of so-called white people, right, who feel, and me and the two brothers on this, we know a brother too, that we used to work with, he literally wants to help out black people just because he feel like we don't help each other, right? So these other nations know, man, they understand. Keep reading on that though.
I think that was it. Dang, where'd it go? Dang, I accidentally clicked out of it. 1 second.
Come on. So, like, hey, why you bringing that precept up though before you make your point? But just want to say, man, like the brother Azrael said earlier, these artists know what be going on, bro. They ain't all dumb and ditzy, but they just choose to sell out sometimes.
Right, man. The brother D1, he be going on a limb. He can get kind of cringy and annoying with some of the stuff in the videos he posts, but he did make a fine line, man, and he showed us which artists actually care and which artists really don't care, right? And a lot of these artists, they gonna choose the money over you and your health. They could care less about you and your health, right? As long as you keep supporting them.
I got it. I got the scripture.
All right.
Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?
Right. So Meek Mill is saying, you know a man by their fruits, man. My fruits show you that I'm a good person. Why would I go back to the hood where I can get hurt? Right? Why would I gather with thorns? I'm not gonna pick something that got thorns. The thorns are there to protect it. Right? He's saying, why would I go back to the hood where there's thorns and I can get hurt, bro? You can know me by my fruit. This fig tree, right? This apple tree, this whatever, it don't got no thorns, right? You could pick freely. Keep going though.
Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Right. And you know, in our communities, man, it's nothing but corruption. So why would you stay there? Right? Why would you wallow there? Right? And spiritually, why would you stay in that sin? Why would you be in that friend group when you know that all they're gonna do is sin? Right? We know that in the world is driven by sin. If it's not food, if it's not the abominable food, it's an abominable lifestyle. It's not the abominable lifestyle, it's the line of thinking. If it's not the line of thinking, it's the gossiping and the lies. Right? If it's not, everything in the world is geared to run off of sin, right? And you got to come out of that, man, if you want them curses to stop applying to you and your family, right? Got to renew the mind. But if the brothers don't got nothing else, man, that was a quick little clip. I guess if you want to, you can go and watch this clip for yourself, right?
I got one closing precept.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm only focusing on the second part of this. So I'll read it though. It's Deuteronomy 21:21. And it says, "And the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear." Right? So the point I'm focusing on is, so shalt thou put evil away from among you. This is why when you go look in the history of how people or why people got put to death, when you go look into the history of why the Most High set things up the way he set it up, it was to make people fear from transgressing the law, because the law would put you in situations that your behind really just couldn't cash a check for, right? You know how people like to say the same, your mouth will get you into something that your behind can't cash. You know what I'm saying? People say that, but in reference to how we live our lives, that's true. Because this is why we had to stone people with stones, to make people fear to not do the wrong thing. And now we can see through breaking the laws of God, it's opened us up to be so much vulnerable to a million different other spirits that have jumped on us. We not loving our brothers, other sicknesses that is not even found in the book is put on us. It's hard for us as a people. And the only way, like the brother Azrael said, for us to get out these situations and this type of living where you're looking over your shoulder, you know, is to fear the Most High God, repent, and keep his commandments.
Oh man, just now looking at some of these comments. The brother said, how did we get cursed? Right. So we can go to Deuteronomy 28:15. Before we read Deuteronomy 28:15, you know, when we got cursed, right, it's because of a covenant, right? A covenant is a contract, right? And with the contract, you have pros and cons, right? If you keep a contract, good things happen. But everybody knows if you break a contract, right? If you break a contract, you have to pay the punishments or the repercussions or the fine that comes with breaking that contract, right?
So
it's not per se witchcraft, right? But it's just consequences. That's all it is, right? So Deuteronomy 28:15.
"But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee."
Right. So when you read the book of Deuteronomy 28:15 on down, right, it'll show us, right, the reader, all the curses that are put on God's people for not keeping their side of the contract, meaning they didn't keep God's commandments. They didn't do what God said, right? And when you look at any nation of people today, right, you know that by and large, the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we claim to love God, but we don't do any of the commandments listed in the Bible. And because of that, these curses have been put on us. And we asked ourselves all the time, why are we in poverty? Why are we living check to check? Why am I getting fired for no reason? Why am I constantly looking for a job? Why am I being raised in a single parent household? Why is there racism? Why does it seem like I have a higher possibility of going to jail than somebody of another nation? Why do I have to change the way I act and talk when I get around business folk, right? All these things happen because of the curses, the generational curses, and it's because our people did not obey God or did not obey the contract that we agreed to, right? We have ancestors, and our ancestors were supposed to keep their word, and because they didn't, we're living a life full of sin and curses. And that's why we have to repent, which is meaning we got to turn around from what we're doing, right? It's going to look totally different. A lot of people think repentance is just asking for forgiveness, but repentance is literally making your life do a 180. So a lot of people say, oh, you're in a cult now. Oh, you're doing this. Why are you so different, right? To make it to heaven, you got to be different, because what you was doing was going to send you to hell. So yeah, it may look weird. It may look different. It may feel different. It may feel weird, but that's called repentance, right? Actually changing your actions, right? Yes, I was celebrating this. I was eating this. I was looking like this, and it was not in the Bible. So I got to do this now. I got to dress like this. I got to celebrate this now because this was a part of the contract or the covenant, right?
Man, it's literally God allowing you to touch that hot stove, right? He told you not to touch it, but since you want to touch it, right, now you get burnt. So you look at things, man. He tells you not to eat certain things. We enjoyed eating those things, so now we get what comes with eating those things we're not supposed to eat, like diseases, right? We were supposed to love each other, treat each other with tender and treat each other tenderly and with care. We didn't do that, so now we get the adverse effects, like Meek was talking about. Everything is in reverse. We get the adverse effects of not treating each other with care, and now our eyes evil towards one another, right? We were supposed to love our families and not commit adultery and all of that, but because we love sleeping with each other's wives and husbands and stuff like that, right? Now we are the nation that is leading the statistics in single parent households, right? And so when you break these commandments, right, if you don't hearken to the Lord, with the root word there is hear, if you don't hear the Lord's voice and you do the opposite, you get the adverse side effects, I guess you can say, right, to the things that we were supposed to be doing. And so that's why, like the brother was saying, that's why these curses are upon our nation, right? Some people might say it's not fair, but hey,
to whom much is given, much is required.
Exactly. To whom much is given, to much is required, and we can't take back what our ancestors did. We just got to live through it, right? We're here now.
Okay, hey, can you pull up verse 45 and 6 real quick though? Deuteronomy 28.
Oh snap! I'm sorry, I forgot I had pulled this up.
Oh, I could have shared my screen if I didn't know we was.
I was just trying to be prudent. I had pulled it up. You said 45 and 46, right?
Yeah, 45 and 6. Right. Because a lot of times people forget that these curses, like a lot of people think that when they think of paying a fine or paying a fee or, paying, giving, what's it called? Not retribution. Is that the word I'm looking for? I guess, in a sense, when you're paying somebody back, like it's supposed to be something that could be quick or not as long lasting. But if you're wondering, okay, well, that happened then, why is it still going on now? Where it says right here, 45 and 46, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they, in reference to the curses, they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So this is why the same thing that was going on during the time of after David, you know, the same thing that was going on back then pretty much is going on till this day. That's why you got Meek Mill talking about going through the curses, but at the same time, you can see that we was going through the curses during the time of Dr. Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman and so on and so forth, right? Because these curses are going to be upon us until we, as a collective people of a nation, decide to repent and do like the brothers have said before me and keep these commandments.
Man. So yeah, I hope that answered the question, man. How do we get cursed? How do we get in the situation that Meek Mill was talking about, right? Because no other nation is in that position, right? No other nation is in the projects. I put it like that. You know, it's so clear to see and so clear to say no other nations in the projects. You know, just by saying that, it should bring everybody into the knowledge of the truth. Because that's a question, like why is there only one nation in the projects wherever you go? You go to the projects or the hood in China, you're gonna see dark-skinned people. And in Mexico, you're gonna see dark-skinned people. Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, you know, Canada, you know, Europe and England, right? In Rome to this day, you're gonna see dark-skinned people. And you know, it says the projects, the reservation, the barrios, right? Right? All of that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be there. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? God is showing you a clear sign. Why? There's no other nation there. There's literally no other nation there, man. So, you know, hopefully this video was edifying and gave you something to think about, gave you some wisdom on this Wisdom Wednesday. I'm your brother Azrael.
Brother Donald.
Brother Yeshaya.
And we say, Shalom.
Shalom.
Wow.